this video, we will look at how you can use Zoom to create video calls to teach your students. First, go to zoom.us. There are different plans you can choose from. The free plan will allow you to have unlimited time on one-on-one meetings, but meetings of 3 or more participants can only go for 40 minutes. For this reason, and also for the other features that you can use, I suggest that you buy the license for $14.99 a month for the Pro plan. You'll click Buy Now and follow the instructions to create your account. Once you have an account, it will open to a page like this, with profile and different information. To create a meeting or a class, click the Meetings tab on the left side and then click Schedule a New Meeting. On this page, you can create information about the meeting. Give it a title, such as Advanced ESOL Class, and choose the date of your meeting. You can choose how long you'd like your meeting to be, but it won't bump you out if you go over the time. You can choose whether you want your video and your students' videos to turn on automatically. I would recommend that you have your students' video on automatically, at least at the beginning, because they may not be familiar with this, and if you have their video turned off, they may have a hard time figuring out how to turn it on. Once you've chosen your settings, click Save. You can choose to add it to your calendar, and if you want to start the meeting now, click Start this meeting. Otherwise, if you go back to the Meetings tab, you can see all of your meetings that are scheduled. I would encourage you to take some time to look at your settings. Go to the left sidebar and click on Settings. There are many different settings that you should be aware of, but I'm going to point out just a few. Make sure that you have chat enabled so that you and your participants can talk to each other. If you want, you can have a private chat enabled so that your students can talk to each other without showing the whole group. I also like to have a sound enabled when people join or leave because it helps me be aware of how many people are in the room at the same time. A few other functions to add. I encourage you to add polls, which I'll show you how to use in a little while, and also add screen sharing. For security purposes, you may choose to only allow the host to share their screen. Unfortunately, sometimes people abuse Zoom meetings and will try to show things that are inappropriate, or outsiders will even try to jump in the meeting. But this is your choice, and you can also allow anyone to share their screen. I also encourage you to use annotation and the whiteboard feature. You can choose whether or not to save whiteboard content when you stop sharing. You can also check nonverbal feedback so that students can raise their hands. Just as a note, if you weren't sure, blue means that it's on, and gray means that this is off. One other suggestion I have is that you turn on breakout rooms. This lets your meeting participants move into smaller rooms and talk to each other during the meeting. It's a bit harder feature to understand, but it's a great practice, and I'll show you how to use it in a little while. After you've looked through all of your settings, then you're ready to start working on your meetings. You can go back to Meetings and click Start to start your meeting. You may be asked this question and just click Open Zoom Meetings. Hello! Now we have our Zoom meeting open. I want to show you the tools on the bottom toolbar. They include the mute button to turn my sound on and off, and I can also choose which microphone and speakers to use. I can also stop my video so that you can see my profile picture instead, but you can still hear me. This might be helpful if you have something distracting going on in the background, or for some reason you just choose not to show yourself. There are also settings here where you can choose your camera, and you can change your background if you choose to do so. But you usually need a background that's a solid color with the same lighting, or otherwise it might look strange. If you want to invite other people to join, you can click the Invite button. You can choose an email service, or you can simply copy the URL or the invitation and paste it into your own email to send it. This will invite people to join your meeting right now. However, if you've scheduled your meeting and you want to invite people to come to your meeting at a later date, simply click on the title of the class, scroll down, and you can see right here, Invite Attendees with the Join URL. You can right-click to copy it and paste it into an email. If you'd like the long invitation with all of the login information, click Copy the Invitation, scroll down and click Copy Meeting Invitation. It's automatically copied to your clipboard. You can tell when it's been highlighted, and you can paste it into an email with all the information here. Okay, so going back to our meeting. Some other features I want to show you include Manage Participants. Right now, I'm the only one in the meeting, so all you see is Restoring Hope Roanoke. That's my organization. However, any other participants who would be in the meeting would be listed here. This is a place where people can also give feedback. For example, if you wanted to ask a yes or no question, instead of having everyone verbally respond, they could give yes or no. This is also a place where your participants can let you know how things are going. If they are confused, they may say, "Please go slower." They can also say, "I need to take a break," or clap for people. Unfortunately, you don't always get a notification if students have chosen one of these things, so you may choose to leave the Participants tab open on the side so you can see what's going on if you're going to use this function. You can also choose to mute all of the participants or unmute all of them at one time. Some more settings are available under More. I encourage you to open this when you're by yourself or with a few friends to check out all the different settings and see how it works. Another great function is the Share tab, which is this green box down here. On Share Screen, you can choose many different ways to share. For example, I can share any web page by clicking on that web page and clicking Share. If you want to share something with sound on your computer, like a YouTube video, make sure you click Share Computer Sound. Once you click Share, your students will see the same thing that's on your screen. So right now they're seeing my Zoom meeting, which isn't very exciting, but I might choose to show them something else. For example, maybe we'll go to esolcafe.com and look at some different opportunities here. There are lots of different things you can do. You can show them YouTube videos, you can play games, you could look at live streams from the zoo, all kinds of opportunities. When you're done, click Stop Share, and you'll go back to your video. You can also choose to share other things. For example, clicking Share again, you can open the whiteboard. This will open this board that allows you to write, or type, or use other symbols. You can still see that I'm over here on the side, and all of your students will also be here in small boxes, so you can still see everyone and hear them. I can type a text box here, or I can draw something. This might be fun to play hangman with your students too. If you don't like something, you can use the eraser to take it off. You can clear the whole drawing if you would like. When you're done with using the whiteboard, you can click Stop Share to go back to the video, but you might choose to share something else. For example, if you still want to use the same textbook series you've been using, you can take pictures of the textbook using a smartphone or digital camera and upload the pages to your computer. Then you can open them. I can choose Share and share my photo of this textbook page that I have to show the students. I can zoom in and let the students see the page. I can also use my Zoom tools to annotate the page here. I can use a checkbox to check things. I can spotlight so that the students can follow along with my mouse. Or I can again choose to type. All of these tools will help you to have your lesson the way that you have been used to teaching, although it's still going to look a little bit different. When you're finished, you can click Stop Share, or again, go to New Share and share another screen. I'm going to show you some more tools that are available. One tool that I really like is called Polls. You have to turn this on in your settings, and we looked at that earlier. When you click on Polls, students will see a poll that you have prepared for them. So they could choose Anna have two sisters or has. But your students will not see the poll until you click the Launch Polling button. Now, all the students can see the question. They will vote, and you will see how many of them have voted and what answers they have chosen. Of course, there's no one else in this meeting right now, so right now no one else has answered the question. When you're finished, click End Polling. You will see all the results, and you can choose to share them with all of your students so that they can see the results as well. If somebody didn't get to vote, you can click Relaunch Polling to start again, but everyone will have to vote again. So how do you make a poll? We have to go back to our setup for this. Back on Zoom, we can go to our meetings. This is the class I set up for tomorrow. I click on the title of the class and then scroll to the bottom of the class. It says you have not created any poll yet. You can click Add and enter your question here. Maybe my question will be, what is your favorite color? I could choose some colors to write here. And then you can add a question. I believe you can add between 20 and 30 questions. And when you're done, click Save. Now your poll will be all ready for your class tomorrow. You can choose whether or not to make it anonymous as well. If you want, you can create a poll while you're in the Zoom meeting, but it will still take you back to that other screen, so you'd be losing time being with your students. For this reason, I recommend that you set up your poll ahead of time. You can also choose to record your meeting. Down at the bottom, click Record. You have two options. You can record to your computer and save it on your computer, or record to the cloud and have it save online. It will record until you press Stop or until you end the meeting. At the end of the meeting, it will ask you about saving it, and you will have an option to use the file. Remember that everyone who is visible in the class will be visible in this video, so if you have students who don't want their faces to be recorded, this is probably not a good option for you. However, you can also record yourself doing a class by yourself like I'm doing right now, and then you can share that video with others. The chat function is also a very useful function. All of the students are able to chat here. When you have multiple students, they can also choose here to see a list of names of individuals in the class, and they can talk to individual people, unless you choose to disable this function. There are you can choose here who students can chat with. If you're teaching young children who are rambunctious, you may choose not to let them chat at all, or chat with you, or chat with the whole class. Finally, I want to show you how to use breakout rooms. This is a little more complicated, but pretty exciting. So you click on breakout rooms at the bottom. Remember, we already enabled it in our settings. And you can choose how many rooms you will have. It will tell you how many participants are in your class as well. For me, there's no one else in this meeting, so I have 0. but you may have 10 or 15 people. Choose how many rooms you would like to have. You can have your students divided up automatically, but you may choose to do so manually, dividing your students by groups or by English levels or other criteria. You also might have your native English speaking volunteers on the call as well, and you could divide them with your students so that they can work together. Once you've chosen if you want automatic or manual and how many rooms, click Create Rooms. Now you can see all of the rooms that are here. You can choose to name them, delete rooms, or add more rooms. Under each room, you will be able to assign people to the room. You will click Assign, and unfortunately, I don't have anyone else, so everyone is assigned. But when you have more participants, when you click Assign, you will have names and you can choose where they go. There are some other options down here as well. You can move them into breakout rooms automatically, or you can just, when you click to open the rooms, your students will get a button to choose to go to the breakout room. You can allow them to return to the main session, but you will probably be the only one in the main session, so you may not want to do this. When you decide to close the breakout rooms, your students will get a countdown of 60 seconds, telling them that the room is closing. This gives them time to finish their conversation. When all of your rooms are ready, you will click Open All Rooms, and your students will be sent to their rooms to talk with each other. So, if you would like to set up your rooms ahead of time, you can do this as well. When you create a meeting, you will have an opportunity to set up a room. So when I schedule a new meeting, I can go down to Breakout Room Pre-Assign and check this box. Here I can choose to create rooms, and I can add a group. I'll add in the email addresses of each participant. These are the emails that they are going to use to sign in to the Zoom meeting. All of them will be added here, and I can add as many rooms as I would like. You can also import from a CSV, which is a file like Excel, so that you don't have to type everything in manually. This takes a little bit more preparation at the beginning, but that way it's already ready. And as it says, you can have up to 50 breakout rooms and up to 200 participants. I don't think you'll need that many, but you're not going to run out. Once you have all your rooms assigned, you can click Save. So that way, when you save your room, it will already be ready, and when you go to your meeting, you'll just be able to open it and send everyone to their rooms. When you're finished with your meeting, you will use the End Meeting button at the bottom. You'll have two options here. You can assign someone else to be a host of the meeting, and then you can leave while they stay. Or you can choose End Meeting for all and close the meeting for everyone. I hope this tutorial has been helpful for you in figuring out how to use Zoom to best serve your ESOL students. God bless you as you serve your students, and you and your teachers love them well with the love of Christ.